do. I feel like Americans and just the West still don't deeply understand Chinese culture because it's not heavily marketed by Chinese people. Koreans have done, a good job at marketing the country because I think it's because they invest a lot in they invest a lot of money to make these K-pop idols celebrities, right? And this is what happened. So growing up, I did not see much Asian male models. Um, you know, I did have a conversation with someone, and she said that she couldn't relate to this experience because obviously, if you're like the main ethnicity in Britain, um, they basically said, oh, they had plenty of role models growing up. And growing up, I basically saw, I remember from coming here when the age of 7, and basically saw no single, no, other than Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, which is the only fucking people that people quote. There was literally no East Asians in British television or movies or like throughout since I was a kid all the way to university. I never saw a single handsome Asian man on British television or Hollywood, and that's kind of it was kind of annoying because I remember at one point watching like all these influencers, Asian influencers, talking about how in America there wasn't like much representation of Asian males or whatever. Like I think like you would only care about this if you're East Asian. Like it affects you because it affects how people treat you as well. So it's not really the biggest pain point ever, but like it was annoying. So that's also partially why I am on social media. But anyway, like this ended up be talking about Asian identity, or like what is it like? It's gonna be end up being a video talking about what it's like being like a third culture kid, or like someone of a different ethnicity growing up in a different country. And it's gonna end up being like that because I think I did occasionally talk. So I tried using Hinge, and I occasionally matched with people that said, oh, they're like some sort of like South Asian. They grew up in multiple different countries, and they said they could relate to the experience. But I feel like a lot of people can't relate to the experience. It's not really the worst hand you could be dealt with in life, but like, what I didn't like was that, yeah, I just didn't like the fact that there was literally no representation of anyone that looked like you or sounded like you. Growing up, but it's getting better now. Like there's K-pop and the K-pop movies, and I think the K-pop Demon Hunters basically show. I feel like they didn't have to have an all East Asian cast, like, but if you look at who's singing, who's doing the voice acting, it's actually all East Asian. Because if you look at the voice actor of Son Goku, he's obviously an East Asian character. Like it's based on Sun Wukong, which is like the Monkey King. And that's supposed to be someone of Asian descent. Well, it doesn't have to be. Like, it could just be an American guy voice acting it. But a lot of anime seems to have, like, an East Asian character voiced by an American person. But, like, the K-pop Demon Hunter, I was surprised to see it was all East Asian. It's probably because the writer was an East Asian person. But I don't know. I feel like the main thing is seeing someone that looks like you succeed. I think that helps because it shows that it's doable, right? Like it's just seeing someone that is somewhat relatable, so you don't really have an excuse. Like because you could be like, oh well, it's because is it because I'm Asian, that's why it's harder. But I think it's hard for everyone in a lot of categories. But like I think representation helps because it gives people a reference point, right? Like because growing up, a lot of people just didn't understand what the fuck Chinese people do. I feel like Americans and just the West still don't deeply understand Chinese culture because it's not heavily marketed by Chinese people. Koreans have done, a good job at marketing the country because I think it's because they invest a lot in like K-pop. They invest a lot of money to make these K-pop idols celebrities, right? Turn it into a business. I think South Korea has probably invested a lot in trying to export its culture. So you got a lot of these people thinking, oh, they should go to South Korea for tourism, or buy kimchi, or buy all these K-pop idol, toys and concerts and and that's like an entire business now. I think I was asking my Chinese classmate why hasn't China done this, and I think it's partly because China has enough of a bigger market that they don't really need to export the culture to the West. The market is big enough, and I would think a lot of Chinese people would probably try to market to Chinese consumers. Um, Obviously, you have TikTok and Douyin now. It's funny because I think I started this video wanting to talk about what is like approaching strangers, but now I just this is what I actually wanted to talk about, so maybe I just post something about this. Um, yeah, I felt it was annoying, but I feel like it's not something that a lot of people deal with, so a lot of people don't really care about this thing. But I care about this thing, so I'm gonna post it. Right. I was not extremely annoyed, but I didn't like how there was literally let's say we have Son Goku, right? Or it's obviously it's like he's some alien, but he looks like a East Asian character, right? And you don't have that in any American movies or any, it's I think it's because all these movies are not written by East Asian men. Like, if you look at the Chinese movies or Korean dramas, they obviously have the East Asian lead, looking handsome, and they actually look like a fucking romantic lead. But all these American movies is written by some dude that's not Asian. And they always write it in a way. The main thing is annoying is that they always write the characters like they put Ken Jeong, who's very funny, and the doctor or whatever, and they make him look kind of stupid. And I think Ken Jeong's actually he's probably like an intelligent guy. They always make him play some random Asian dude in like some car jumping out naked, and I think it's funny, but I just don't think it's a good representation of like East Asian men. Because like growing up, I would go to high school and people would ask me or laugh at that fact, and I think it's like a kind of ridicule, kind of mocking kind of thing. Um, so I didn't like that. So I think a lot of the poor representations written by white Americans who probably just didn't grow up with any, I don't know, other than Bruce Lee, which I think obviously died. But Bruce Lee was like half, I think he's like half Russian, half Chinese or something. And then, yeah, I just think, I think there's probably a lot of Chinese culture or movies that just haven't exported to the West. I wonder why no one has really done that though. Maybe it's because there wasn't product market fit, or there wasn't like, 'cause I'm sure like Chinese people have enough talent that they can do this. But anyway. Okay, well, basically it's not great, the representation. I think it's getting better. But obviously a K-pop idol does not represent me extremely well. I'm nothing like that. I obviously can speak English to a fluent level. Um there is very little people like me on the planet that's really represented. Um yeah, it's not great. It's not great. It needs to get better because I feel like what can I do? Like I can apply for an acting role, and acting is extremely competitive. Um, I can. What else can I do? I can post myself on social media, but then social media is a winner takes all market, meaning that I have to be in the top 10 or 5% to get seen, and most people just don't know who I am. I think even fame isn't. Then it's also like this pain point. I think it's probably recognition. I don't know if it's validation. It feels like I'm not being heard, or people like me are not being seen, and I think that just irritated me because I feel like it's not like I feel, oh, I should get some special privilege in society. No, it's not like that. It's just I think it affects a lot of areas, like just like I probably mainly the dating life. I feel like the stats for Asian guys, obviously, I'm an Asian guy, but not all Asian guys are the same. It affects how people perceive you. Obviously, attractiveness level, and like I don't know. I grew up going to university, and um I don't know. I think I just wanted a guy that looks somewhat like me, being represented in the media, and get I don't know some great movie role. I mean, I could apply, but like it's just annoying. It's just annoying. I mean, unless I write my own roles and act it out, like that's something I can do. But then I have to be some great writer, and I think they spend millions millions of pounds, probably like 100 million budget to make a movie that's a hit. Um, I don't think I'm gonna spend 100 million to try to make a movie, unless someone wanted me to do it. Then I do it. Why not? You'd have to raise money and potentially produce money for investors, or maybe organize some sort of way, I don't know, to translate Chinese talent into Western media. Like, I feel like there should be a lot of potential talent or export, or opportunities for young Chinese talent to make a film, and export it to the West. I feel like this should exist, because look at the amount of interest there is for South Korean dramas, films, and songs. It's just that the Chinese haven't really done anything specific to, transport that into like a media power. And I feel like I don't know, like it probably requires people that like me to understand English really well and also have some interest in, I don't know, Asian representation, or like representing like that side of the world. Um, don't know. I mean, if there's anyone that wants to make a movie or want me in a movie, you can reach out, because I think I'd have to audition and take acting lessons. And I have taken acting lessons before, but I don't think it's like something that's extremely easy to do. I thought about voice acting too. Voice acting is interesting. But like everything, it's all super competitive because everyone has a voice. So as long as you got a voice, you can become a voice actor, right? So talking about how media representation affects dating and social confidence for Asian men, I think the main thing is, obviously in Western society, is not the majority of ethnicity is not like East Asian men, and I think that's why a lot of products like media, TV shows, it doesn't really produce a product specifically for East Asian men, and especially young East Asian men. So you're really like on underserved market. And I think it does affect you because like you're basically like invisible or not seen in society. And in fact, like it's also like role models. Like, do you have any role models that are, I don't know, an East Asian man that speaks English? Like I basically can't really think of one. It doesn't have to be East Asian dude, but you know what I mean. Like someone that looks like you and also, you know, someone that you aspire to be like. Not necessarily because everyone obviously is unique and has to be themselves and authentic. But I mean, someone where you kind of look at them and be like, oh, that guy kind of looks like me, and I kind of am inspired in a way. I think for probably young East Asian men, there's not, especially when I was in uni, I couldn't really find anyone. I was looking to Asia for, inspiration, especially as a young 20-year-old male. I was just looking at, I don't know, Chinese celebrities like Darren Guang. Probably list a few. Because back then, I probably didn't have a full level of confidence, and then it's just like trying to find, I don't know, like inspiration on also how to dress and like maybe potential outfits. And obviously affects like, I don't know, all of elements like dating too. I think because of the rise of K-pop idols and Korean drama and all these K-drama, I feel like people are more curious about Korean culture, traveling to Korea, or like or they think it's some kind of exotic kind of species where like obviously Korean men are not perfect. I'm not a Korean man, but obviously a man is just a man. Men pretty much want the same thing everywhere. Like regardless of ethnicity, like they want to have sex like every other man, right? Like it's not like I don't think it's like, oh, there's some sort of like perfect K-drama lead. I think those are really fictional, and obviously those are actors. I don't know. I feel like the Asian male leads in Chinese dramas and Korean dramas are probably a better better romantic leads representation, because Hollywood is not doing that at all. I think it's doing a really poor job in representing minorities. I think it's probably because they're trying to commercialize success. I don't know if they're just trying to maximize the amount of revenue or whatever, but they're basically not writing very authentic stories that include Asian males. But because most of the writers are not Asian males, I think that's largely due to it. And obviously they just make fun of like South Asians or like Kim Jong in random movies. Let's see. What else is there? Lessons learned. How to build confidence when you feel. Yeah, so if I think now I'm older, I care less about this, but I think it still kind of irritates me. Um, Not that I feel like I should be an actor. It's kind of irritates me that like you just don't really feel represented. Like there's not enough people that speak out for your situation because I think it's quite a unique situation to be in, and then I don't know. I just want more guys that kind of look like you on media. I think it's getting better now because like I don't know. I feel like there's more Koreans, but then I don't think Koreans really represent me very well. Um, and then what else is there? I think for the longest time it's just me trying to figure out. I don't know, like who exactly I am, but I think that's the journey that everyone goes through. Um, just trying to figure out who you are and who you should be, not who you should be. Like I think it's being fully yourself. I think social media kind of helps you figure out your unique communication style, but I think it's just finding a way to become your best self. And I think when I was in my early 20s, I tried to find people I could aspire or role model to be like. Um, and and then spotting a lot of American guys who I think I kind of aspire to be like. Obviously, don't look anything like me, but I think their actual personality traits, I think it's very admirable, very authentic. It's not like they're pretending to be someone they're not, and I think those traits, regardless of who you are I don't know, doable. Um, so yeah, I think there's people like that that I think are interesting. I should be on a podcast to talk about this. Someone interview me to be a podcast. I think that would be interesting. Let's see. So top tips for other people facing a similar scenario, I think is just lean into authentically who you are. Don't try to pretend to be someone you're not, and I don't know, try to figure out what makes you unique. Try to show that to the world, and there will be value gained.